Hey, what's happening, y'all? Hey, it's your man in 100 grand, Doc G. And tonight's subject is a very apropos subject because we're living in very unique and unprecedented times. Ergo, the name of the subject of this video. And the name of the subject tonight is how social media ruined society. How social media ruined dating, how social media has ruined relationships. I'm going to give you guys a reference point. I'm 40 years old. I remember when social media first started. Hell, let's rewind the clock back a little bit. I remember when computers first came out. I remember the old computers with the floppy disk, and when it took forever to download a picture, it took forever to fucking, to communicate online, dial up internet. I remember, when everybody didn't have a computer. If you had a computer, it was considered a luxury item. I remember those days. I remember when you had payphones, when nobody had a cell phone in their pocket. I remember those days. I remember when nobody had a cell phone. See, back then, people had to talk to each other to actually communicate. You had to talk to each other to communicate. And now, you don't really have to do that. Now, you can just goddamn get on whatever social media app and do whatever. Like, for example, if you're dating, the majority of people find their dates or their relationships from online dating. And with that being said, I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with the apps Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, for the gay people, Grindr, or whatever the fuck else y'all got. Everybody got an app for dating, basically. Or a website like OkCupid, POF, whatever, Basically, your worth is based on a couple of pictures and a sentence that you put in your profile. Hell, and that's even if they even read the sentence in your profile. That's what your worth is diminished to now. Back in the day, you could goddamn go out, go to a school dance, go to a sock hop, go to the mall or something with your friends and go out and go just specifically to go socializing and meeting people. We actually used to do that once upon a time. You used to go out with the sole purpose of trying to meet somebody back in the day. And then you would meet that person, usually. You go out, you get numbers. Hell, I remember this was before you had to motherfucking have a cell phone to put somebody's number in. I remember back in the day, you had to have a piece of paper and a pen to write down phone numbers back in the day. I remember you used to have a phone book, a literal phone book, to keep track of the people that you would date or phone numbers that you had. You would go out, you would fucking get numbers and shit, and then eventually you'll find a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever. And if you're lucky enough, that person will become your wife or your husband. But the point is, you will actually go out to find somebody. That's what it used to be like. And now, you don't have to do that. You just swipe left, swipe right. And that's what people are diminished to right now. I remember that shit. I remember, that's when it comes to dating. Then let's talk about family. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have Facebook. Back in the day, People used to keep up with their friends and their family by meeting each other at the family reunion and calling each other on the telephone, the fucking a real telephone. I ain't talking about cell phones, and you would actually fucking speak to each other. And that's why families were so close back then. And now you got you got people that don't even fucking see their family, but they're fucking friends on Facebook. Like, for example, I got family members who I haven't seen since I was a kid, but yet I'm friends with them on Facebook. My, how times have changed. Which that makes families even more distant, even colder to each other than they used to be. Real talk. Social media is ruining everything. Dating, family relationships. And then on top of that, it makes bullying easier. That's why I feel so sorry for these kids. Like, back in the day, if you had a problem with somebody, you had to see that motherfucker face to face. You couldn't hide behind a keyboard, you couldn't hide behind a computer and talk a lot of shit like these pussy ass motherfuckers do right now. You had to see that person eventually. But nowadays you got all these fucking trolls talking shit on the internet, goddamn being little bitches, man, because they too pussy to goddamn step to a person in real life. So social media is just fucking with everybody. And then on top of that, you got all these people, all these talking heads that think they got the answer to everything. And it's too many goddamn Indians and not enough chiefs. It's basically a whole bunch of people that got something to say. And a lot of people are being led astray from having their own frame of mind because they're busy soaking up all this bullshit from social media and the TV and reality shows and all that shit. And they don't even know who the fuck they are. Usually when people tell you about their beliefs and shit, it's usually a copy and paste belief of some shit that they seen on social media somewhere. It's not a genuine thought that they have from their mind. Social media and technology has ruined everything. I remember back in the day when you had to when you studied for school, you had to go to an actual library and pick up actual books and goddamn look up shit in the encyclopedia and find all these different books and resources, and you had to study for real. And now, man, a lot of these dumbass kids now, they don't even study for real. They just go to Wikipedia and they copy and they paste. Or they go to some website and they copy and they paste. Oh, let's not talk about the fucking overwhelming amounts of porno on the goddamn computer nowadays. Back in the day, if you wanted to watch some porno, you would be looking at like the distorted, fuzzy screens of non-existent channels on your TV trying to look for a boob or something to pop up or some shit. Or you would wait until late night when fucking HBO came on and you would try to look up that show Real Sex, or you would fucking wait for BET Uncut to come on so you could look at some twerk videos, or you would have to rifle through your dad's sock drawer to get a fucking VHS porno tape that has some 1970s porn on it and watch that shit and then rewind it back to where your dad left it and shit, then fucking put it back in the sock drawer before he came back. Like, but nowadays with all this porn on the internet, all you gotta do is go to Google and type in whatever you want, and they got everything that you want as far as porno goes on the internet. Now let me tell you how that shit is bad. because your brain gets fucking overwhelmed with dopamine from all of that fucking porn, and it ruins your experience when you really have sex for real if you watch too much of that shit. So, technology and social media and all of that, it's ruining a lot of shit. And to be honest, I kind of miss the days where there was no social media, even though I'm doing this video right now. I'm telling you, man, because shit was so different back then. It was so different. The dynamics between men and women were a lot different. The dynamics between parents and children were a lot different. The dynamics between teacher and student and all that shit was different. Real talk. And now people are so disconnected. It's ridiculous. It's like you can goddamn be in a room full of people and nobody will be speaking to each other because everybody will be on their phones. Car accidents have gone up significantly because people are on their fucking phones while they're driving, and people aren't paying attention. I swear to God. And then on top of that, social media rots your brain with all these reality shows and all this bullshit that you don't need to be looking at. All these goddamn low-key messages, these woke messages, these gay agendas, these political agendas, all that shit is being woven into social media to control the masses. But we don't want to get into that because, let me tell you something, a brother could go all day on that shit. But I really wish it was like it was before. I mean, when cell phones first started coming out, that's when I knew the downfall of society was about to happen. I did not know it was going to be this bad. You got little kids with cell phones now. You got little kids out here in middle school and shit, in elementary school, goddamn with cell phones, goddamn looking up all kinds of fuckery on that goddamn shit when their parents aren't looking. How the fuck you gonna be a kid that young with a fucking phone? These motherfuckers ain't even got jobs yet. But yet these kids got cell phones. Let me tell you something, man. It's just bad, and let me tell you something. The world is going to hell in a handbasket. That's all I'm saying. The world is going to hell, and it's. I don't think shit is going to get any better. It's only going to get worse from here. But I'm praying that it doesn't. I'm just going to keep it short and simple. But once again, it's your man Doc G. Got love for y'all. Holla at your boy. Peace.